Ready? All right, listen. No, that doesn't say hemp in the back behind me. License plate that I got out of the scrap yard. What do I want to start with? I was looking for a lemon. My eyes look a little rust, and it says 78 between two RUSTs, both in the same family. How about the Mississippi? What is this video about? Well, let me tell you one thing. When you see that it's under 5 minutes, you're going to say, ah, it can't be good, right? Probably made full of mistakes, or just made a whole fool of himself. But that's okay. I'm one big mistake, and thank God, because if it wasn't a mistake, it would be unique, and I wouldn't be here at all. Because everything's down the drain at the end of it. I'm unique, right? Am I not unique? 6 trillion sperm cells and a couple of eggs show up at a meeting and they get batted out of it? Well, let me tell you one thing. What we're going to talk about right now is the Fleur De Lys and the Swastika. And I think I have it all on one page. So first what I'm going to show to you is the Swastika. And the Swastika is, let me find it. The Swastika is right here. If this was over here, this would be 2, 5, and 8, and this would be 4, 5, and 6. 2, 5, 8, 4, 5, and 6. Now, do you want me to tell you the numbers about this, or do you just want to know about this? Let's go on to something else. The same angle of the swastika that you see is also a pointing and crossover of 2 north stars, the letter N. The angle and pointer that they are at right now is not where you think it is, because the center is not and is only 5, but every line you move to. And when you draw an X inside the line, you now have a point on each side. If you put an X, and the reason for bowling, because if you put an X on each side, that X will create the center line to draw a new line to put new positions of space. So you have another space to go within the space, making more space. Let's connect the dots and see how far we go before we misunderstand what we're actually doing in the whole sequence. So we go on with this, and if we want, we can do this, but we're not. Then other ways to do the swastika, can I just lower this? I want to try and get this in as fast as possible, and I'm quite sure I did it on another page somewhere. Yes, it's over here. This swastika is the same thing, 2, 5, and 8, 4, 5, and 6. But this is the one I want to go to. Now the difference between this one and what the swastika can be is because they took this H, hotel, in which is between the corner here and the corner here, which is 1 and 9. The spirit north to the south pole connects the spirit, as these are the angles of space we are in, recreating a V, 2 X's, 1 line in between, which is the I and a V. Now the thing is, with the letter I, it's automatically like this, and it recreates the heart. Why? Because it's the design of the dog pounds. When you draw this line inside here backwards, I'm going to show you what it does. Oh, this is so interesting. I've learned so much. Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you, Ronnie. Oh, you don't have to thank me. Anybody out there? No, no, no. Just let me come on and do this, and I know I'm doing the truth, the reality, and I'm making sense. But the rest of the pennies have to come from the 2 cents you shove in. Don't forget, 2 cents is like nothing. You see this, you see this. Now we're going to go in here, we're going to draw it again. Here, here, and here. It's like a North Star, right? And we're going to draw it here in the center. See, we have the X, we have one sock by the chimney, and then we have the other sock by the chimney. Then we take this line over here, and we go this way. And we take this line, and we go this way, and we have the swastika. Now turn around the swastika, and we build the letter I, 8, which is after 7, and the H, and the I, we have H and I. In between, we have J and G, but you cannot see the J because J is one side, and G comes around again. Right over here when you continue the continuation. Why? Because this is area 6. This is man's house. This is where X-Man lives. Okay? So in order to create this, we're going to do the tic-tac-toe. We're going to put the lines across. And then we're going to do this. Now watch. 4, 5, and 6. Same thing as the other one, right? Now watch the way we do the next one. Okay, do you remember we put this thing in the middle? You remember we put that in the middle? Well, in this one, we're not going to put it in the middle anymore. Watch. I'm going to do it again. Is there any space? Okay, let's do it over here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And go across, and go across. Okay. Now go 1, 2, 3. Now what we do to this one is we're going to, you know, just like this one we started up here. Okay, just like this one we started over here. But instead of starting it, if I started here, okay, or I started here, 1 and 2, or 3 and 4. 3 and 4 is Earth and Mars. So we go to Earth and Mars, and I'll draw it for 3 and 4, and I go down over to the corner from 2 to 4, down through 5, and then over through 8. And all of a sudden, we've got the H for the hotel instead of the swastika. The numerological value of this one is a little bit harder to tell, but I will tell you that it is 2, 5, and 8, which is 15, plus 4 is 19, plus 5 is 24, plus 6 is 30. 30 is creation. We also had 30 from this one, 2, 5, and 8, 4, 5, and 6. But these points here are not the same. This one creates the H. This is a numerological value in Roman numerals of 10. This one creates the I9. This is a value of 9. This is a value of 10. 10 and 9. Like Tanin, number 3993. So this is the difference between this one and this one. Now the last way of designing, or the next way of designing the swastika, is this way, in which we connect 365 to 47, 365 days a year, and 47 of time over 1 and 2, or 12, and 89, or 19, or what would it be? 1982. What happened in 82? I don't know. Again, we create the X in here, and then we create, you see the half line that we have over here? Because this design can't go in between the lines. We have to do it this way, not this way. So this would have to be turned. So, but I'm doing it this way anyways, because this is how it's done in basic. Okay? So if you really take a look in here, here's Horus. You see Horus? Horus once, Horus twice. One is up, one is down. It actually shows you a question mark in both of them. One line is used. This is an international line over here, the international lines. Another thing about this hotel, okay, and this swastika, okay, I just lost something in my head. Yes, is 365 days a year and 47. I'm always telling you, multiply 47 by 50 and Moses is born, and that's the 50 stars. Multiply 47 by 30, 30 eggs in a tray. 2.5 times what? 2.5 times what makes 30? Anyways, 2.5 times a dozen? Yes. And then over here, 43 presidents, Earth and Mars, 7 and 19, and it makes your moon again. Okay? The total is 1, 2, 3, Michael Jackson. 3 and 2 equal 5. We don't count the 1 because the 1 is inside the 3. You know what I'm saying? Skip your fingers, this finger, this finger. This one is the one with the ace on it, but we're not going to go that deep. So the whole thing here is 1, 2, 3. 3 times 2 times 1 is 6. 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 6. 6 and 6 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3, and that's your creation. But how do we get 47? Well, first of all, there's many ways to look at that, but I'm going to leave that out and go on to the flirt. Now, let me finish it. 47, okay, is this. Do you see the 17? Okay, well, the 17 is the Q letter. 1 times 7, 1 plus 7 is 7 and 8. 7 plus 8 is 15. 7 times 8 is 56. It now makes 71. They now become their own selves separated, and the space in between the two is 54. 54 is the number of the sun, and 45 is the number of the Fleur De Lys, because number 17 repeats. How does number 17 repeat? I'm going to show you. If you see a little bit higher to the right is number 30. That's 5 times 6 equals 30. 5 plus 6 equals 11. We got 41. 41, okay, is the total of the Monopoly board when you go around. But like I told you in every other video, 30 always gets 6. So make 30 36 plus 11 equals number 47. Do you understand? The Einstein notation. I gotta look at you for a minute because I feel you're looking at me when I'm looking at you. So did you understand that part of how 47 became time? Now if we multiply 43 times the 47, it equals to now. Well, it's in the 6-year period. And in order to get the 47, you need number 57 or 75, or the numbers 7 and 5. The number of points and center to the Magen David, and addition to the add-on of what is an octagon, and number 5 is in the center. 7 and 5 make 35, which is 3 times 5, 3 plus 5 equals 23, which is the egg. 2 times 3, 2 plus 3 equals 5 and 6, the same 5 and 6 that equaled 56, plus the 15 that gave you the 71 that began the whole thing to begin with. So that's how we get number 47. So if we take 123 times 47, it gives you the Hebrew New Year of 5775. 4774 is the number, Einstein theory. And it's perfect. And then you start over. 7 by 4 is 28, plus 11 is 39. And then it goes 39 and 39 and 39. And that's where we're going to get on to the Fleur De Lys. And the reason I'm getting on to the Fleur De Lys for this reason is, to start with, oh, my hand's on the wrong side. To start with, Fleur De Lys is 62. And in the short count, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14, 3 and 6 and 5, 14 again, 365 days, but this time it's in the 10 world. 39 represents a 10 world, 3 and 9 is 3. 1, 2, 3 equals 6, plus 4 equals 10. You take one 10 world, 1, 2, 3, 4, into the next 10 world, the 6, 7, 8, 9, and you have the 5 in the center that connects you both. That's why it's D, E, and EF. DE makes 9, 4 and 5, DE, 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 Fleur De Lys, and 45. 5445 is Agent 99, or Jupiter. So you understand, we get 6226, which is the 88 hands of the piano. Okay? Now at the same time, what we're going to do is when we get to 62, 6 and 2 is the letter, where is that letter 62? 8. 8 stands for H. Okay, H, remember. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 plus 2 is 8. Which would be L, which would be 12 and 8. Okay, but LH or HL, highlights, I don't know, I didn't get into that word, but the total is 20T. We started with 862 and become 20T. Now, we told you and we spoke to you, I don't like to tell you, I'm sorry I used that word, the 0 always becomes a 6. So instead of 20, it becomes 26, and the letter Z. And the letter Z is the 26th letter. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 plus 6 is 8. We're back to 20 again. We're back to T. We're back to Z. So the question is, how did we get the Q? Well, the Q is the 17th letter, and that's how it all began. 1 times 7, 1 plus 7. One times 7, 1 plus 7 is 56. Plus the 15 is 71. The in-between is 54, 60, 64, 71. 1771 is the Tea Party, and is the number of Rubik's Cube, and 0, Z-E-R-O. 54, Sun, Venus, Sun. Uranus, Sun. Uranus, Sun. Nasun, nuisance. Nuisance, something that came to bother. Uranus is not a nuisance. It's a new sun. There's a new sun coming. Ru Nadiru. The icing is on the cake. The icon and the planet X of whom man is, because planet stands for 86, which represents the day of man. And these are not my answers. These are the numbers of the values. So we come to this number, which brought us out to 47, which brought us to the Queen. Excuse me, the Queen is also number 62, and the 17th letter is a Q. 3 by 8 is 24, 3 and 8 is 11 again. So we have Q, which is here, and that's the 17th letter. We go to T, which is minus 3 goes to Q, plus 3 goes to 23 creation, and then the 23 creation, once you take away 3, because they're adding something onto something, take away something from our mind in creation, you have to give it automatically because man gets both 3s. Yet, in the installation, it's what's going out and into man, and man is the put out of the rest, but it's the same put out as the put out he has for his life. And he runs in fate. So that's part of the Fleur De Lys. So we have the big count and the small count. So we add the big count up and the small count of fleur, which is flower. We're all talking about flower now. It's 88, and it's perfect. 6/22/6 is perfect. If you want to do the day of 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., 6 to 10 is 16 hours. And that's in time zone. I can tell you about that in a minute. Ask me about time, I'll tell you, but I can't do it right here. Do you want me to tell you? 216, which is 62, now add 1, because the spirit is in the 6 that comes with the 2 into the 2 world, and is represented only on one side of the dice, because the other side is the 6. That's why in life, even if you come into the 2 world and you become the 6, okay, the 2 has to get 5. She gets all the hookups. Bah. So anyways, we get the Fleur De Lys. So it's number 8 or 62 or 26, which is 88, which goes to Q, then to T, and to Z, and back to Q, and to T, and to Z. The total of the count of Q, T, Z, first of all, it creates H, just like in the swastika I showed you before. The H, okay, which is 8, and the T is represented here as the 8th letter, and the T is the number they use as the transmission. You see the 2 sides here, it goes out each way. Did you understand where the T came from? 6, the 2, 6 times 2, 6 plus 2. And then the 0 is equal to 6, so we make it 26. And then the Q comes from 7 times 17 is 1 times 7. 1 plus 7 equals 56, plus 11 equals 41. 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 equals to your 9 birth. And I can keep going on, but I don't want to tell you so far back. I just want to move on. I want to move on. So then we have de, which is number 45. And in the movie, that's what she's got on her pants, number 45, right? 4 and 5 is 9. 6 and 2 is 8. We have 8 and 9. We didn't have 1, 4, and 7 yet. Now we got this, which means smooth, which is L and Y, which is plenty. Words that come and finish with L and Y. 12, and number 25 equaling to 37, again Nibiru, and it equals 2112, in which you have in here. Anytime you have a U and an L, you have 2112. The L is a wing, U and a wing, because you don't come in here with 2 wings, you come on here with actually only 1 wing. So we get, over here we'll get 9, and over here, 37, and 19 is the moon, the S, makes it 56. Do you remember where we got the 6 from? 56? 1 times 7, 1 plus 7. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 by 7 is 56. 7 and 8 are the 2 gateways. Here. Number 8 connects the, you see when there's a heart inside the 8 and the 7 and the 8, there are 3 hearts. Do you understand? The 3 centers. These cards are 3 the same, 6, 7, and 8. Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus, your sun. So once we get through that, we get 56. 5 and 6 is 11. De Lys, 9, 11. 8, 9, 11. 8 and 9 is 17. 8 and 9 is 17. And 11 is 28. 28 is T and H. T that the 8 makes is H. Time, heaven, communication. If you want to go out and start looking at the Fleur De Lys now, I didn't finish yet, okay? This in a short count comes out to 3, 7, and 1. 1, 3, and 7. And that again, 7 by 3, and 7 plus 3 equals 33, plus the 1 equals 34. 34 equals to 76, and also, the spirit of 76, for the reason 3 and 4 is Mars, and Earth again, and the one spirit of heart. There's a one spirit inside the 3. Everything we do, we must play with 3 and 4, because the 3rd planet has no U. It's Earth. There's no U. And the 4th planet is Mars. There is no U. Mercury has a U. Venus has a U. Earth doesn't have a U. Mars doesn't have a U. Jupiter has a U. Jupiter. How about Saturn and Uranus has two U's with the Neptune and the Pluto. P-L-U-T-O, Pluto, very special. So we're going to go on to where we got Fleur De Lys, and then we got 137, in which we had 11, which becomes 2, 9. 9 and 2 is the extra day, the leap year. We get the 29th day in the leap year, and April Fool's Day becomes the 92nd day instead of the 91st day, which is in another video. In this video, we get 8, so now let's do it again. 8 times 9 is 72. Times 2 is 144. 12 times 12, 144. The hours in a 6-day week. Why? Because of 6, 1, and 3 that I did in the other video of 6 days, 1 day, and 3 days, of 16 hours awake and 8 hours of sleep and 24 hours that are lost to the creator of the matrix, in which is actually all in your mind, the time that it takes, the seconds that we lose each time we think, when we sneeze. So we did now the crossover. Now all these crossovers that I did on the other page for the crisscross, this one goes down, across, and down. This one cuts along 5, but only creates. This one will only create the shape of the dog pound, building the dog pound by running on the line. In between here, 1, 2, and 3, but in between here, 2 is 3. It would be 2.5. This would be 1.5. This would be 4.5, 45. This would be 4.5. This would be 5.5. This would be 7.5. This would be 8.5. This would be 3. If it would end the point over here, it'd be 4. And they all get numbers. So anyways, we're going to go on to the Fleur De Lys, which at the end got a 62 count, 71 count. This 1 and 7, where did we get it? The first 2 words is 71. And this one is 2 is 70, 62, 71, 127. Oh my God. 127. I can't even explain it. 127 is, just very quickly, that's Nibiru again. It's 3 and 7. 1 and 2 is 3, because 1 creates 2 to become 3. Here's your 2. Pretty good, right? Here's your 1. Creates the 3. No questions asked. 37 is Nibiru. It's the French or European roulette. European in what? It goes around the toilet the other way. Now you want to get on to something else. So let's see if I did this. It comes out at the end to a short count of 2 times 9. Is 18 times 8. So let's see what that does. Oh my God. 18 times 8. That's Aleph, Hey, Resh. That's the building world of angels. Oh my God. 18 by 8 is 80, which becomes 86, and 64 equals 144 again. I guess I must have did it once. If we add them to each other, it becomes 1 and 5. Area 51. Man becomes 1 and 5. He becomes the egg. It's A and E. Now, do you want to know how I did this? 5 and 6 is 2. 4 and 5 from 2. 2 times 9 is 18. 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 times 18 is 80. 8 times 8 is 64. Now we have the chess game. 8 by 8 is 64. 8 plus 8 is 16. Makes 80 again. They play in each other. This is the heaven of the angel residence. 1 times 8, 1 plus 8 equals to 17 one more time. 8, 188 comes, if I remember, there's another thing I did on 188, but in this one over here, 188 or 88, whichever way you want to go, but it all has to do with the Fleur De Lys. Now here's the second part of the Fleur De Lys. It's a ring. What they do to us, you see the ring? This is the 6 card. They take off 3 pieces of the 6 card, because you're seeing it this way. You see it this way? There's your Fleur De Lys. They take off 3 points of the 6 card, which is not only the 6 card. I'm going to show you how this goes. I'm going to do a small circle. It's this design over here. It's the letter E. Okay, and it's 3 and 3 of the 6 card that we just did. The 6 card. Okay, we do it east-west because east-west man lives. It could go north-south. Okay, if that's the way of the transmission. Satellites are up, aren't they? The communication is down. So what we did is we have to take off one side. Take off one side. It's also the marijuana leaf. Why? Because there's no freedom of thought. We're being totally penetrated all the time. If you take the ring and put it this way, it goes the long way of 11 instead of the sonotube going up. It creates the A and E. Why does it create the A and E? Imagine this is a racetrack. In racetrack time, they count 4/5 of a second. After that, it's a second. Now, the total of birth, adding from 1 to 9, equals 45. The number on the Fleur De Lys equals 45. And when you add up, 1, 2, 3 equals 6, 4, 5, 6 equals 15, 7, 8, 9 equals 24. The letters of F6, O15, X24 says fox. So they have trapped 3 of this side and have trapped the fox. Now the question is, how can we draw these straight lines in here? Do I start in this corner? Is it straight up? We know we can't go straight up because the minute I go straight up, it ends up cutting off like this. You see the little pyramid this way and the pyramid this way? It gets cut off, so we cannot go straight up, so we have to go on this angle. See the way the ring ties it up? Here's your 11. A plus E equals 6 plus 11 of the egg. Okay? 6 and 11 is 17, back to the queen. Now if we just take the egg plus 11, we have 15 and 11 equals 26, and then we're back to Z over here, where Q, H, which ties us up to the moon, and Z are all tied together, in which I forgot to add up. 1 and 7 is 8, 2 and 0 is 2, and Z is 2 and 6, 8. It becomes 8, 8, 2, which is 18, and then we're back to the reality again of 18 times 8. It's all in the hip, because they have us tied down from the hips. We're tied around. You see the way we're tied around? Okay? The other way, I was going to show you in the design, here's the sword. But if you take a look at the top of the sword, it's this over here. The little house, well, here's your little house on the prairie. At the same time, this house is what does this over here. Except it does it here, here, and here. I'm going to show you how it does it. Okay, I'm going to show you how it does it. Here's your tic-tac-toe. Okay, so what you're going to do is you do this, you do this, you do this, and you do this. Okay, but you only can do it like this, like this, like this. Oh, I made a mistake. How come I'm having trouble doing it? Anyways, whatever it is, it creates the X at the end. When you put 2 of these together, it creates this X. This X creates a scepter here and a scepter here, which means this side and this side, this is the sword, is what I'm talking about, a scepter. And where September connects to August, and September connects to October, or August connects to July. 7 and 8. Here's your 9, which is supposed to be for both. Or we can go, actually, 8, 7, 6, and then 8, 9, 10. That's right. 7, 6. And the reason for 7, 6, because when they say 007, I mean, all you're actually doing is, here's your 8, and then, here's your 7. No, that's not the way I wanted to show it. But everybody knows 8 and then 7 on the clock. So it actually becomes 6 is here, to 7 is 13, and this is the 9 birth. 9 birth connects to 8 of 007, because the gateway, he has to come in. I didn't do that one very good. I'm very sorry. Anyways, here's the other way to make it, okay, is when the totality can only be made when it's 4 in the center, the square. You need 4 areas to make your 5. This is what the Mayan calendar is all about. So 1 and 3, and flip it upside down, and 1 and 3 again. Or 1 and 3, 1 connects to 9, 3 connects to 7. Nibiru one more time. Then another thing about these CCs are the connection of the 2 moons. The 2 moons, the moons of Mars and our moons, those are part of the CC. Another part of the CC is, CC, command and create. It's 3 on this side, 3 on that side. If you take a look, it can also be 2 J's, which is holding arms of the 2 worlds. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else in here. J and G. This part of the Fleur De Lys is right here. It's part of the I letter. This is the J letter, which breaks around on this side. Okay, how can I do it? Is there another way to do it? You see this, the way it's created, the G? Starts to create half of the X on a bow tie. You have to put the D and the G inside each other to recreate it. You see, here's your bow tie that I was talking about. Here's your 8 and 7. This is your 70 that I was talking about before, but we're not going to get into that. Here's your Fleur De Lys. You see I put on this side 2 birds, one way, one the other way. This is the thing in between, the frills in between connecting them. They each got an eye, and no one can think, because Jack of spades and Jack of hearts are tied up together. Here's 2 more worlds. You see the way I made this and this side? They connect to both sides. Walk like an Egyptian. And the J and the G go in here. One is J10 and one is G7. The 2 worlds in one. A, B, C worlds. A7, B10, C13. C13 creates 16 and 39, which is the 1 spirit of 6, and 3 by 13 is 39, 9 by 3 is 27, which is I and R and blah, 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 blah. But that's what your Fleur De Lys does. Now, the question you asked me in the video is, I'm going to show you something else. That 18th letter I told you about, heaven, well, here's your heaven, and here's your 7, and here's your 0, and it actually creates the letter R's. 7, 8, and 9. 6, 7, 8, and 9 are all in here. But this is on one side. You should create more R's. 1 R up here, R here, and an R here. Then you'd have the center of the totality over here, and you become 1 inside 4, leaving over 3. 1 out of every 3 years is a leap year. Raphael 7286. Kim? Who else was it? I'm sorry. Who else said that to me, that I should do the Fleur De Lys? But I looked at 2 minutes from the show, and there's so much more. Tell me what I didn't do right, what you don't like. I'd like. I like to know. I like to write. I like to design. I don't even know if you're going to, like, there's your 6 over there on the wall. You see that picture over here? Let me see. See, that's your 6, 7, 8, and 9 right there. The center red is automatically created once you put the squares. 3 squares on the left, 3 squares on the right automatically creates 2 tail positions, 1 at the head, 1 at the bottom, and 2 interior that are created only because the cubes came together. Raphael 7286. And the constellation of Pegasus, this is all about the house of Jacob. And Jacob has had his bar mitzvah, at least the first part of it, and now we're going to make the celebration in the house of Jacob. Now, there's your house of Jacob, and I don't lie, okay? Jacob is a special man. One of the reasons is because of his power to pass through the terrible, terrible thing that has been inflicted on him with parents that have hearts of gold. This is the house. It is the Cancer flush. And it's just so funny the way the good Lord Creator works, that He comes in and tells people we are coming to the end and we need to flush and reunite in our hearts of love. Is the Fleur De Lys good or bad? Well, guess what? The number in Quebec is 53, which creates 15, A and E, and the 8 ball, the end of the game. They call it Quebec because it's kiss and it's ass. And we have the hydro to power Star Wars. That is what's coming, my friends, and the only reason I say it is because I just saw it in a movie. I just saw Star Wars in a movie where things were disintegrating because they ran out and they flushed the water, and they ran up to the queue in the back. Why? Because they were on the top floor and the bottom floor, and what went on? I listened to the movie 33333, and Quebec is the place. They want our hydro and power, and they're going to manipulate us in any which way. Money doesn't count anymore. When you come to the end of the game, it's all about survival. And the fittest that survive are those who hold the hands. Because once you hold the hands and you are in love of the B of the hexagon of the B has 2, 4, 6 points. And in these points where we hold hands, once we become large and loving, those ants who try to pass in between will be trapped inside the hexagon. And as you divide up the hateful inside the hexagon, the 6 P's that sting the 6th man and the 6 parts of his life, outer life, will now take over and give the earth back to who it belongs to in the end, in the end, in the end. Thank you for watching these ruffled feathers. I thank you, and thank you again. Raphael in the year 5775, which is 3333, and in the name of Abraham, thank you for watching.